CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by the Heinz History Center. We have been hyping up their Pittsburgh Hidden History exhibit since it opened. And if you haven't checked it out, now is your chance. It truly is such a cool opportunity to look behind the curtain and see what the curators themselves actually love the most. Teeny tiny toy collections, spooky stuff, a huge riverboat wheel, even a bunch of shivs. The whole exhibit has gotten such rave reviews that they're keeping it going way longer than they initially planned. But it's not going to last forever, so cross a river, cross a bridge, and get thyself to the Heinz History Center. And don't forget, kids 17 and under always get in for free. Plan your visit at heinzhistorycenter.org. Today on CityCast Pittsburgh, our big little city has been named one of the top travel destinations in the world. And while I love it, y'all, I'm also just a little bit skeptical. CityCast Sophia Lowe and I are talking about all of these lists that Pittsburgh's been making nationally and our very favorite ideas for extremely Pittsburgh Halloween costumes. Plus, we've got some updates on the state budget, aka all the nice things we are not getting this year thanks to the stalemate in Harrisburg. It's Tuesday, October 28th. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Hi, Sophia.
Hello, Megan. Let's get right into it. I know we briefly mentioned this yesterday that the Three Sister Bridges got historic designation. We were talking all about our riverfronts, and I'm excited.
Good things we want to see, but don't see yet. But
Yes. But the bridges, now's the time to enjoy them. I always love when they get lit up after light up night. And they got this historic designation from the Pittsburgh City Council, so pretty local.
Yeah, not the state, not national, different rules for each. It was cracking me up that they put this out, which means that they pursued it after they got done doing all those renovations. So those lights that you love and the repainting and all that, they made sure they had their way with the bridges first. And then they were like, oh, and we would also like historic designation, please.
Right.
Because the rules are very specific. Once you get historic designation, you can't just do anything.
Mm-hmm. But this historic designation could potentially help with preservation efforts. So maybe it's a good time to lock that in too, because I imagine these bridges are pretty old. But I think primarily it just means we get bragging rights. We get to say that this is historic. And these bridges are also in the National Register of Historic Places. So, a little bit of national recognition in there.
Oh, yeah. They're almost 100 years old. So they were built over a 4-year period from 1924 to 1928. So, hey, the more you know.
I hope they have a 100-year birthday party. That'll be really fun.
But which year would you choose?
I guess once they had been all finished, all three of them, that's what I would pick anyway. So
I wonder if they did a grand opening for the bridges. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would have been cool. They are the only known trio of identical side-by-side bridges in the entire world. So I don't know, triplet theme for their 100th, I guess.
Triplets born over a 4-year period. We thought we would today go through a bunch of wacky lists that we've been making lately. Mostly good news, it seems, but Pittsburgh's been in the mouths of a lot of national publications lately.
Yes. We'll start with probably the biggest one, National Geographic's 25 best places to travel next year. So no ranking to this one. We're just one of 25.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it. Everybody's been talking about it. But the list covers the entire world. It's always funny to stop and be wait, us? You mean us? You mean us, Pittsburgh? We're one of the best in the world?
I know, that was so weird to me too. The other U.S. locations include the Badlands and then Route 66, specifically Oklahoma. I've never been to either of these places. Have you?
I mean, no, the Badlands are in the Dakotas. And I've heard that it is very much what it sounds like. It is bad land. It's a very stark landscape. But I've also seen photos and it looks beautiful.
It looks so beautiful. And not to say our skyline isn't beautiful, but I just I don't even think we compare to the Badlands.
Well, it is a national park. But I mean, we were a city location, of which there were several. And I feel like that meant like focusing a lot on like our museums and our art scene,
Right.
specifically the Carnegie International, because like part of it is like places to visit in 2026. And the
Okay.
Carnegie
That happens
International,
every 2 years though. So we could make
right.
the list frequently for this one.
I don't think they do a lot of repeats, Sophia. But like the Children's Museum, the Warhol, the Troy Hill Art Houses, City of Asylum, and then of course the waterfront's getting a lot of love.
I will give it to National Geographic. The Troy Hill art houses do feel very unique. Like, I know it's supposed to be sort of like spoiler free, but I encourage people to check them out. The first time I went into one, like, literally gasped. I was so shocked by what was inside.
It's been a long time, and I actually only saw one of them. It's a weird story, but anyway, I haven't actually had the full experience. I should. I'll add that to my list. Maybe my 2026 list.
Oh, yeah, we'll just hit up all these things as, people who live here. They obviously mentioned the NFL draft. Duh. That, I think, is like definitely the big thing that's happening in 2026 here.
Well, if you ask any city leader, for sure. They also had a decent food listing, like itinerary of places to go and things to check out. Like Jackworth Ginger Beer, for example, the little bar over in Larimer we've talked about
Fun.
on the show before. But I will say it was on the expensive side. Like if you follow their itinerary for food, you are going to be dropping a pretty penny on it.
That makes sense. I'm not surprised. I do agree with them that people should visit between May and October, though. Right now is not our season. I guess maybe this week while the leaves are nice, but afterwards, not our season.
Yeah, the author said something about like before the blanket of gray takes over the city. I forget how she put it, but I was like, yes, okay, you've been here enough to at least know that. Thank you. You got that part right. Next list, we came in third out of 180 cities, saying we were one of the best for car optional living. So this is according to Storage Cafe. They're like a storage unit company, but companies like this do like listicles so that they get easy press. They write up like blog posts and research reports about the real estate market and housing.
Okay.
Yeah. So like grain of salt, but I just think it's funny whenever like companies like this do this. And like for whatever reason, we either like end up totally on top or totally at the bottom. So this one looked at infrastructure, safety, what choices you have for transit and like access to stores and amenities. I have so many skeptical feelings about this one in particular.
Me too. The top two are also Minneapolis and Miami. I guess New York was simply not in the picture because that would obviously be higher. I will say I feel like we do have fair access to like stores, amenities, because like we're small, but they're not exactly like walkable. We've talked about ghost buses, so I wouldn't say like the choices you have are super reliable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, right? Like whenever a national group looks at, like if you look at us on paper, like on a map, you see like all the bike trails and like the staircases, the city steps, and, the way the streets are connected. Like it looks like we're very accessible, but you're not factoring in, first of all, the inclines of all of those.
That's
like
true. That's true.
streets with like 20 or more % grades or
Yeah,
some of those
Storage Cafe,
staircases.
go walk up Rialto, call me.
Some of those sidewalks are like really busted. A lot of the city steps are condemned. And also like what is increasingly becoming my soapbox, like the total lack of bathrooms, which is not a big deal if you're riding in a car from like one place in the city to another, but is a much bigger deal if your commute is long.
Yeah. The one thing I will give Pittsburgh is that I do think they've been doing more traffic calming, so maybe a little bit more on the safety part. Like in my neighborhood, there are some new crosswalks, some new like barriers and medians, but still, that is like one very small part of the picture.
Yeah, and I love all of that, but I don't know that makes us car optional. Like that feels like a separate accolade. Celebrate that.
That is
separately.
true. I just feel better crossing the street now.
Another accolade to celebrate. This one very straightforward. We can just be happy for them. Fathead's Brewery, which has like that big side on Carson Street, they won the 2025 Brewery of the Year. So this is part of a Great American Beer Festival in Denver. They got a bunch of awards. So 5 medals for actual drinks and then gold medals for their Goggle Fogger Hefeweizen and their Porter Battle Axe.
Oh, fun. And another list I saw, so the Asthma and Allergy Foundation released a report about the worst cities for people living with asthma. We're not on the list. So that's something to celebrate.
So it's a list we did not make, but that felt important to note.
There are 3 Pennsylvania cities, unfortunately. So Allentown on the other side of the state, Harrisburg, and Philly. But I still do think, it is something to celebrate for Pittsburgh because you always see us on like our worst air quality lists, but maybe we're getting a little better.
I mean, fingers crossed, right? And then this one was just funny to us. The New York Times compared homes in 3 different places. So Virginia, Pittsburgh, and Hollywood. They decided on $750,000 as like the home sale price.
Okay.
This is like a weird like tap into Zillow, but doing it like across cities. I mean, not shockingly, the one in Pittsburgh is the largest for the money, right?
I'm peeping at it right now. So 3-story Victorian and Shady Side. So it's 5-bed, 2-bath. I'm really shocked at, I guess the people who live here, it looks like their exercise room is on the 3rd floor. Wouldn't that be so hot? I wouldn't put it there.
Why Pittsburghers do that though? I feel like they're either in the basement or like on the 3rd floor. And I feel like when I was looking for a house, I saw this all the time, Sophia. And the whole time I'm thinking, you either brought this heavy, bulky equipment down your rickety stairs into like your murder basement, because that's what they always look like. It's like dank and wet and like sort of like, I don't know, there's a lot of bricks and exposed like pipes and stuff. Or it's on the 3rd floor where you're going to like literally shake the whole house if you're running on the treadmill.
I'm a basement person if I have to pick between the 2.
I mean, it is cooler, right? But either way, multiple staircases sometimes.
Well, while we're in the basement, unclear if there's a Pittsburgh potty in this one.
That's true. I don't know if it's worth $750K if it doesn't have the potty. I mean, we should also just throw it out there that like $750,000 in Pittsburgh. Like I understand the whole affordability factor compared to other places, but that's still like such an unworkable amount of money for most people who live in this city. Like I think we should keep screaming it from the rafters that the median income, is $36,000. Like that is $750K. It's just like not an achievable amount.
It isn't, but that is not going to stop me from like scrolling on Zillow because that's still fun.
I mean, honestly, like I love getting in the $1 million settings and up and just like looking. I love to nub nose.
Well, next list is food. So one of my favorites. This comes from Bon Appetit. They got a local chef to share some of his favorite places around the city, mostly the East End.
Yeah, so this was friend of the pod, Nick Forsberg. That's the chef over at Fet Fisk, which, I mean, gosh, we have talked about them so many times because they consistently make best restaurant lists, like nationally, and of course, definitely here in the city. Also scored him, Nick, another James Beard nomination. So, just keeps climbing the charts in that way. But his picks were real. Like, I endorse almost everything on this list. I think there's only 1 or 2 I hadn't tried.
Yeah, he talks a lot about the East End, like I mentioned. One thing that sort of caught my attention is Bon Appetit when one of their subheads says East Side. And I was like, nope. East End. But I do go to these places. Like he hangs out apparently in the Allegheny Cemetery, recommend Penn Ave's First Fridays. Huge fan of Commonplace, like newsletter editor Francesca DeBecco. I think she'd really endorse that one.
Yeah, and then Dad's Dog and Burger, Chengdu Gourmet, which has gotten its own James Beard nominations before. The one I haven't tried yet, even though so many people have recommended it to me, is the Duolingo Cafe, the taqueria.
Same here. Because
It upsets me to go support it in this way. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm mad at Duo, but I've been a little mad at them for like a year or more.
I personally don't like the bird, so...
I think it's the bird. It's cute, but it's weird, and all the press stuff they do around the bird is odd, so I just haven't tried the tacos yet.
The Duolingo Cafe is also, like, kind of pricey. I've heard the food is, like, very good, but it is maybe a place that, you'd want an occasion to go to. And I'm like, on my birthday, am I going to Duolingo? I don't know.
Yeah, he also shouts out Allegheny Wine Mixer, which is one of my all-time favorites. I love that place. They have such an amazing wine list, and their charcuterie boards and their cheese boards are so good. Dish Osteria over on the South Side, a rare move to use a South Side one. Most of these really are East End focused. And then by far, my favorite, I cannot believe he got this printed in Bon Appetit, is the Squirrel Cage.
I haven't been there.
It is a classic dive bar. I used to live around the corner from it, and we went constantly. Like, if I have any affection for beer in my body, it is because of the Squirrel Cage. And like how sweet they were to like try to like teach baby Megan how to enjoy and like appreciate beer. But also those greasy cheeseburgers are like top tier. They're so good.
Okay, you have me at greasy cheeseburger. Also, CityCast Zach Durkin, he's been on the pod before. He dropped us a note saying that it was really cool to see this list focus on, a lot of local spots that aren't upscale American, not steakhouses, just really good, diverse cuisine. And if you want to hear a little bit more about, what got Nick started in the food scene here, we talked to him a while back about what it took to get Fet Fist going, turning it from like a little pop-up to this restaurant now that is getting so many nominations.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, there's a link in our show notes.
And last list type thing, still food. Sheetz and Wawa are tied for customer satisfaction. So who's winning? Who's to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends on the metric, right? Like Wawa has more locations, but I think it's fun to observe them encroaching on each other's territory. I feel like for the longest time, they have had this like unspoken, I assume it's unspoken, agreement that Sheetz doesn't go too far into Eastern PA and Wawa doesn't come too far into Western. And they are very clearly like not honoring that anymore.
We'll see who wins. They're both tied for second place, so I guess there is a winner, and it's actually Quick Trip. So we'll see what happens next year. I'm shocked that Buc-ee's isn't higher on the list. They are fourth, and I think they should be first for bathrooms alone, because these gas station bathrooms, like, actually, the doors are huge. I believe they go all the way to the floor. I've only been to a Buc-ee's once, and they also have
But it
lights.
made enough of an impression on you that you're shouting it out?
Yes, I love Buc-ee's. They have lights above the bathroom stalls that tell you whether they're occupied or not. Like, it's a gas station.
Cool. I love that in a parking lot, too, a parking garage.
Yeah. Anyway, Buc-ee's come to Pennsylvania, please.
I will just shout out the Axios write-up about this, Axios Pittsburgh, because they quoted someone basically talking about this rivalry, like as it relates to history or whatever, and proclaiming that at least at some point in the future, there can only be one, which gave me like really big Highlander vibes. Why can there only be one? This episode is sponsored by Quantum Theater. They are in their 35th season, and you can catch their upcoming play, Enron. Yes, the company. It's described as a high-octane odyssey through the glittering free fall of American capitalism. And I gotta say, Quantum, you are actually literally selling it. I'm so on board for this. The show is written by playwright Lucy Preble. She was a writer and executive producer for HBO's Succession, so you know it's gonna be full of satire, high drama, and a nebby glimpse into the lives of the ultra-wealthy. For example, if you are a scholar of corporate infamy, you can look for true celebrity sightings. We're talking Jeff Skilling, Andy Fasto, and the Southern charmer himself, Ken Lay. To really get you into the business mindset, to get you ready for the play, Quantum Theater is taking their performance high above the skyline at Oxford Center. I love that they're doing this. It's exactly the right amount of extra. If you want to check out one of the 90s most iconic cautionary tales, check out Enron. It's open October 30th through November 23rd. You can get your tickets at quantumtheater.com/Enron. We are with you today thanks to the Greater Pittsburgh Nonprofit Partnership. It's a program of the Forbes Funds, and they have something big coming up. So this year marks the 20th year of the GPNP Summit, and it's such a great opportunity for anyone working to strengthen our region's nonprofits. Everyone is invited, whether you're a leader, an employee, a volunteer, or even just really passionate about an organization's impact. The theme this year is AI advocacy in action, and more than 600 changemakers are meeting at Nova Place to talk about how innovation and collaboration might shape the future of social good. Attendees are going to hear from national thought leaders, create community with peers from across Western Pennsylvania, and hopefully leave with ideas and tools to further their nonprofit missions. It's going to give you all the right energy to head into the new year. Register now at gpnpsummit.org and join the conversation that's shaping what's next for Pittsburgh's nonprofit community. So we're going to turn now to talking about one of our favorite things, which is being extremely local, just for the vibes. We're talking about Halloween costumes and ways you can celebrate your city if you want to like nod to something absurdly specific and local.
Yes, we asked people to share their favorite Pittsburgh Halloween costumes, whether it's something you've seen, dressed up as, want to dress up as. Excellent photos. People sent in all kinds of ideas and also photos. So make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter to see those pictures. One of my favorites came from Sarah and Tom Yu, who are also our neighbors. Sign up and join them at membership.citycast.fm.
Woo woo.
They were Oliver Onion and Jalapeno Hannah, and it was brilliant.
Sophia, I am genuinely shocked that you have never dressed up as a pierogi, considering your affection for food. I feel
Me
like bringing
too.
back Pizza Penny would really be the move for you to celebrate two of your greatest loves.
I don't know who Pizza Penny is, so
okay, well, I need you to Google that. As soon as we're done today, I need you to hop on and learn your Pittsburgh history.
Okay, I will do. And then we also got a whole list of ideas from Dara, I hope I'm saying your name right, D. So she started telling us about how she was dressed up as a Heinz ketchup bottle. Very cute. But then she said she's also dressed up as 16 different Pittsburgh neighborhoods.
I like it once or over time?
Separate costumes. I think this will make a little more sense in a second once I start describing them, but I also want to make this a guessing game. I'll describe the costume, you guess the neighborhood.
Yeah, Sophia specifically told me I wasn't allowed to look at this one, so flying blind here.
I do think, I think you'll get a couple of these. I'll start easy. So if you saw Dara with a squirrel on her shoulder, what neighborhood would she be?
Squirrel Hill.
See, you got it. It's mostly references to the name.
Thank you for really, okay, starting easy is an overstatement. Okay, what else you got?
Okay, so one arm, a bunch of green, and a field of flowers on the other arm. So this is two neighborhoods.
Wait, what? One arm, a bunch of Greenfield?
Yes.
Okay.
On the right track. What about the field of flowers? Which one is that?
Wait, are they next to each other in real life too?
Not directly next to each other, but
I don't know. I don't think I know this one.
Bloomfield.
Oh, duh. Okay, got it.
They're mostly word
Bloomfield.
plays.
That does make sense. I was thinking too literally, I think. Okay.
Yes,
I'm in it now.
I'll give you one more. A crown with a bunch of squares.
Regent Square?
Yes. Good job. I told you you'd be good at this.
Okay, Dara, thank you for sending these in. I feel decent about my accomplishments today.
And then we got one more write-in from Celeste B, who is relatively new to town and went to their first Yinzer Halloween last year. This was a party where people were specifically encouraged to dress up in Pittsburgh costume, and Celeste went as a Pittsburgh salad.
Celeste, I'm so happy that your friend group enforces this. That's great. I have seen this photo. Definitely, Celeste, I'm so sorry. I interpreted your hat as cheese, not as French fries. But I just got to say, please go to the newsletter and check it out. This costume is a true work of art. It's really phenomenal.
I mean, cheese also on a Pittsburgh salad.
Yeah, it's both. I think I was thinking that I think they're croutons in the costume. I thought those were the fries. But either way, it works. It's great.
I'm glad it does work. I've never done a Pittsburgh Halloween, but my white whale is the titty sphinxes, which I think is a couple's costume. One day I will do it. I really want to go all the way, and I have not had the commitment to do white body paint yet.
Or gray, either way.
That's true.
Options.
That's true.
I have been to many a Pittsburgh costume contest, party, a thing where people are aggressively encouraged to do this. This is very much my group of people.
Okay, so run me through some of your favorites, the best ones you've seen. Have you done, I know you've done the alligator. Have you done any other Pittsburgh Halloween costumes?
Yeah, so some of these will include me as well. I tried to make a list of some of my favorites over the years, but there's also easy ones in here that
Sure,
I personally haven't done, but I've seen at many a party and I think are just a classic standby. So for example, Mr. Rogers.
That's a good one.
Red cardigan, Keds, you're done. I have been Daniel Tiger before, which I can also recommend was a great 20-minute costume because I already owned a red zip-up hoodie. And I put some orange fabric fabric and like Sharpied some stripes on myself. If you actually like have 2 days worth of time, you could just buy some tiger ears and a tail and save yourself those 15 minutes.
Sure.
But it was a total hit. Rick Seaback is a costume I have seen from time to time. It helps if you already have gray hair, but if you do not, baby powder or something like it. Usually a suit, a bow tie, spike your hair up.
Of course.
It's especially nice when I've seen people come to parties on their bicycle because it just adds to the flavor of the costume.
Oh, that's really good. One that I've seen this year that I really love, it was part of the Bloomfield Halloween Parade. Someone dressed up as a cookie table, like full blown, like whole table around this person. I'm assuming the cookies weren't real because like animals weren't going for it, but like the attention to detail, absolutely amazing. I think Axios Pittsburgh had a GIF of it in the newsletter, so I'm sure it's on their website. Highly recommend taking a peek at this one too.
I feel like if someone walked up to you, Sophia, and handed you like cookies off their costume, you would just drop dead.
I would
right
melt.
there.
That'd be the best Halloween ever. Like trick or treating, but someone comes and gives you a cookie. Mind blown.
Yeah, you mentioned this one from folks who submitted, but like I think any condiment with like a Heinz real or fabricated logo is like a pretty legit Pittsburgh option. Andy Warhol is also pretty easy with like a minor platinum wig, like some glasses. Everyone I've seen do it pretty much across the board always walks around with like a Campbell soup can or a banana, like, and just like sort of, you know, like that kind of thing. I think the most elaborate version I ever saw was someone who recreated the cow painting. Forgive me for not knowing its name, but the like the multicolored cow behind their head.
Oh, that's really fun.
And they painted their face as the cow, which was very funny.
That's a lot of dedication.
Some like basic Pittsburgh, well, I think they're Pittsburgh ones, but it's up to interpretation. A pickle, a zombie, Batman, the rubber duck, I think is somehow relevant again. I saw a lot of those costumes 10 years ago.
The one who
12 years
floated
ago
down the river. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was back this year in Canonsburg. And I saw a friend of mine post a photo of themselves in a rubber duck costume sitting on a staircase, just like lording over people, which like felt like, and they juxtaposed it with the photos from Canonsburg where there were multiple ducks throughout the street. I think that was really fun. I did once dress up with my partner at the Allegheny Elks Lodge. Sophia, have you been to banjo night at the Elks Lodge?
I haven't. I need to go. I know no one come for me, but explain to me how you, as the building, as the banjo, tell me more.
Kind of both. So my partner had a Jack Daniels shirt on and carried a tiny cardboard banjo with real strings on it.
I'm seeing the vision.
I wore a flannel and carried a blue hand-drawn, by the way, BPOE 339 sign because it's like right on the front of the building. We both had antlers.
Oh, that's very fun.
Yeah, and like the little nose and everything. Anyway, every single person we saw knew who we were immediately. Like
I like that a lot.
That one hit. And I guess like the one that I think is just like I always look forward to every single year to seeing what this human comes up with. I just want to shout out like the local master of the Pittsburgh costume, which I think is Bruce Chan.
Absolutely.
Or Bruce_Graham on Instagram. His costume last year, which I feel like if you listen to the show, you've heard us talk about, was the butthole window. I'm not going to explain it. If you know, you know. But I feel like that might have been some of his best work yet. But he never misses. Like just every single time, every year, it's always something fun.
It's, totally incredible. And there's also a ton of costume parties. If you want to see cool costumes, you have a cool costume you want to show off. Like on Halloween night, so this Friday, there's Nightmare on Bingham Street. So there are prizes for the best group costume, most original costume, and scariest costume. I think that one's really fun. And then if you want to combine Halloween and Oktoberfest, 11th Hour Brewing in Lawrenceville has Hauntoberfest, also with a costume contest.
Yeah. Also, just like make friends, go out and about. You can just wander down the street on Pittsburgh on Halloween night and whatever you want. And I feel like it's just like a fun way to like make friends.
That's true. That's true.
I've literally done that before and it was a hoot. You can also check out our website if you need more inspiration for stuff to do or places to go. We really literally have many dozens of events, options throughout the weekend. There's live music, movies, cocktails, fundraisers, arts and crafts stuff. There's plant stuff, a library tour, pet adoptions, some stuff for Dia de los Muertos, a pumpkin smash. Check it out. It's at pittsburgh.citycast.fm. And to close us out, we're going to talk about more things we think yins need to know this week.
Yes, we will start at the zoo, specifically with the elephants. So the Non-Human Rights Project, they're a group based in DC, is suing the zoo because they want the zoo to release the animals to a sanctuary, or I guess like rehabilitate them so they're able to go back in the wild. So this group thinks the elephant enclosure is grossly inadequate, and they also had an expert saying that the elephants' behavior showed that they were stressed. So this actually came out about a week after the zoo announced a couple of these elephants will be moved to their conservation center in Somerset County. I always forget we have that second location up there.
I feel like I can't forget it because, I mean, unfortunately, elephants are just really difficult to breed, and so many things can happen. And like, so now, like, used to when we'd have like a baby elephant born, like we'd get to see them almost immediately, and they were so cute, and I loved it. That doesn't happen anymore because
maybe for the best, though.
A baby elephant past that period in its life is very difficult. So now they keep them in Somerset where they can be monitored as closely as possible. I mean, I feel like this also happened around the same time as that dude from Ohio jumping into the elephant enclosure. Sounds like he's okay. I kept seeing TV news like describe him as a wannabe influencer, which I thought was like a weird way to say that. The stories all say the elephant charges at him, and I guess that's what I'm seeing in this video. But it also like just looks like an idiot doing what you're explicitly not supposed to do, and the elephant like sort of defending its turf to some extent. But there's a metal gate between the guy and the elephant at all times. Not that it's not dangerous.
Yeah, not that it's not dangerous, but I would be terrified if an elephant ran at me, even if there's a metal gate. But you wouldn't
jump into its enclosure.
Yes, I wouldn't do that. I respect animals. But also, like, I haven't seen the videos. I did not bother trying to search them out. But, like, in the reporting I've seen, the elephant, like, tried to get at the wannabe influencer with his trunk. So,
but it's like between the gates and like, if this guy's just like has no sense at all. And he like tries to like swing around the gate, like as if like to get deeper into it. He's not only in there like a few seconds, but it's just like such a stupid and disrespectful thing to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pittsburgh police did charge him with a bunch of offenses. I think it was 6. So it included things like trespassing, unsurprisingly, and animal cruelty. I'm not really sure what happened, though, if he's just in Ohio and is staying there now.
Yeah, I don't know either. We did actually talk to the zoo CEO last year. So this is after they got their AZA accreditation back. That's like one of the big governing bodies that like says you're doing things right, you're doing things well. We lost it for a long time. We were not technically allowed to ever lose it, but we did. And part of that was because of elephants. But anyway, they got their house in order. The AZA signed off. So if you want to hear more about kind of how some of that elephant stuff has shaken out in the past, definitely check out that episode.
Yes. And we talk about other fun things like animal escape drills, just the drills.
That's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, they practice that sort of thing, which you would expect, but the details were not what I thought they would be. Moving on, Josh Shapiro, our governor, has written a memoir. Sophia, why is 2025 the year that like all of these elected officials or people in their orbit are writing memoirs? I can't reasonably read this many political books.
I personally will be skipping them because I don't like a memoir, but you know, the Fettermans, both of them, Giselle and John, both released their own memoirs this year too.
Yeah, I mean, they are now all in my to read. I like memoirs. I love nonfiction, but usually not this type of it. Why all at once? Shapiro's, if you want to check it out, is called Where We Keep the Light, and it's supposed to drop at the end of January.
So start making your 2026 reading list now.
Honestly. Another one, Pittsburgh Regional Transit has released its long list of deferred capital projects. So this is all the good stuff and the needed repairs, the important things that we are now not going to get because of how they shifted money to be able to pay the bills and not like shut down a massive portion of the system starting in February.
Right. Reminder, the state, we are still in a budget stalemate, do not have one passed, and legislators just have not been able to figure out a way to properly fund the 50-plus transit systems across the state. Because remember, like counties in the middle still do have transit systems, even if they're smaller.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like PRT and SEPTA over in Philly, they like suck up all the oxygen, but like we're the biggest, but we're not certainly not the only. There's a lot at stake, and we don't have a budget, and we also don't have a way to fund these things. It's really a problem. And when we talked about this on the show in previous weeks, like we knew when PRT got approval to do this, SEPTA did the same thing when they decided to put their capital budgets towards not having to shut down a portion of service. Like moving money like that would mean that there was a list of cuts. That's what this is. We now know what's on that list.
Yeah, so we don't have to cut bus lines, but there's a lot of stuff that we can't get, like new buses. So these would have been more fuel efficient ones, replacing like diesel. We were supposed to get new bus shelters and get some of them replaced. Like, I take the bus a lot. Some of these are in really bad shape. Everything's faded. There were also a bunch of improvements that were supposed to come to the Mon Valley, like bus lanes, signal upgrades, station repairs were needed for some spots. We also needed accessibility upgrades, especially for older stations. And this is the one that I didn't think about that really scared me. We are not getting radio upgrades for PRT first responders.
Yeah. And I mean, gosh, think about how big that list is. And all of that stuff not getting done now doesn't mean it doesn't need to get done. It just means we're not going to do it for now. And even with all of that, it only keeps us going through 2027. So if the state does not act, the entire system could collapse by 2030. If you want to learn more about how that could happen and kind of what's at stake right now and how the leaders are talking about it, Public Source has a really good story. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, and another note on budgets, the county just released its draft budget, and now they have to fend off haters calling them a Grinch because officials announced that Hartwood Acres, there's this huge park, right, in Hampton and Indiana townships. They will not be decorating this enormous old stone mansion for Christmas this year.
Yeah, again, because of the state budget impasse. Sophia, I was cracking up at the county communications director, Abby Gardner, talking about this to local press because she and so many county officials lately have been saying really for months that there would be ramifications if Harrisburg did not get their stuff together. And this is it. Here it is. This is a ramification. We don't get Christmas at an enormous Victorian mansion.
Right. Yes, there are consequences. And also I saw that the people who decorate that house, they were let go. So that is also a very unfortunate ramification.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a bummer, but the county can't stop running its 911 system. They have to plow streets. Some things are need to have. And unfortunately, decorating a mansion for Christmas is a nice to have. We'll let Abby Gardner have the last word on this.
I'm really sorry that people enjoyed this experience so much and we're not going to be able to provide it this year. But I would encourage them to shift that energy and call their state senators and encourage them to pass a budget because it really does affect all of us.
Yes, there are a lot of things that need funding. I support that energy. And, I know SNAP benefits being gone in November are on the minds of a lot of people. So if you want to help out or you need to find food, we have a very long list on our website about where to donate and find food assistance in Pittsburgh. So our website, one more time, pittsburgh.citycast.fm.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. A happy thought this week. The Pittsburgh area is officially in peak fall foliage. Sophia mentioned that earlier. So if you want to soak in the reds, the oranges, the golds, the beautiful Pittsburgh weather, now is really your last chance. The gray is coming for us soon. You can support CityCast by becoming a neighbor. Find all the details at membership.citycast.fm. We will be back tomorrow with more from around the city. We'll talk to you soon. There's a lot of sass to the tone.